In the last 3 years, we have seen unprecedented changes in society. These changes challenge every major paradigm that has shaped our lives, nations, cultures, and communities. It is during times like these that we turn inward for truth. I too began to question the meaning of my existence and the meaning of success. Often, through these quiet, contemplative reflections, we come to find our purpose, our giftings, and even, as some would say, our calling in life. I choose to use my gifts in the service of goodness for the collective. After spending nearly 3 decades in the world of direct marketing, I have witnessed broad spectrum of changes in our industry. Having built a global organization that generated billions of dollars in sales, I have learned invaluable lessons in business and in life. I have been called to start a project that honors 2 words: love and contribution. I am building a global community that is focused on the well-being of everyone around us, physically, financially, and spiritually. With that said, get ready, for you're about to be a part of something meaningful, fun, and genuinely profound. It is time to get excited and rise to the calling of something far greater than what has been. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are tuning in. This is Kim Hui coming to you live from Los Angeles. Welcome, Samson, to the call.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kim. How are you?
Great. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Did you have a great one, Samson?
Yeah. I mean, it took me 3 hours to cook a cowboy steak, but no, it was okay.
Well, I
everybody
hope
else had a good week.
Yes. So tonight we're really excited to come together, Samson and myself, to kind of, talk about a topic that seemingly is outside the box. So, Samson, if it gets a little esoteric, pull me back.
We'll
All right.
go there, no worry.
All right. So tonight, the topic of the talk about Empowerment Tuesday is tapping into the unknown. And so I would say that, Samson, would you not say that? I think what happened to 2 of us in this space that we have worked, at least for me, for 30 years, and you for maybe about 2 decades, we are kind of case studies of this space. Would you not say, Samson?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I think, meeting people around the world, we're very typical, I think. But there is that little extra that's in us that we, I think, build up over time. It's not necessarily, yeah, there are some things that are innate that we're born with or we grew up with, but there's definitely other things, so many other things that we learned along the journey where, how do we say it? We peel the onion. So to where we are today.
So let's get started. And what I like to do today is to do a little talk, a little different, but yet I'll bring it all back. We'll bring it all back to what this really represents to us. So because we have the last 10 months has been, oh my goodness, February 20th. So 10 months, almost 10 months, right, Samson? We begin to pre-launch this project. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So almost 10 months into this project, and we're able to attract a lot of beautiful people from all walks of life. And so obviously we have a lot of people that's very new in this space. And so what I like to do tonight is really talking about tapping into the unknown, because when people are unknown, right? So when people are new in this space, it's unknown. So, Samson and I did not rehearse on what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to go first, Samson. And so if I go a little too far, pull me back. Okay. So I want to talk about truly, we are the case studies, in that it's the example of what's possible, not exception, but example of what's possible when we're able to tap into that which most people think it's unknown, when yet it's already written, it's already known. So by that, I'm going to say this: whatever that is we're going to talk about tonight, tapping into the unknown, it is something that you can apply towards your life in achieving and manifesting whatever that it is you want in your life. And with the things that we talk about, then it's very broad because it's outside. We're going to talk things about that's outside of the box. Okay. So, and then with what we do in this business at Three, then think of it this way: Three is like an app. Okay. In the business we're in, you happen to download that app and apply the stuff that we talk about and apply it in the space that we are in. But truly the stuff that I'm going to talk about, at least, that is outside of the box, and yet you can apply it and fit it into whatever app you're working. And at Three happen to be one of the apps, right? So if you were thinking of it that way, so what I like to do is everything that has happened or everything that you want in life, it is quote unquote into the unknown. Okay, for example, most people nowadays wanted to be financially free, wanted to have freedom in thoughts, freedom in finance, freedom in thinking, freedom in doing whatever, right? So having said that, how do we go about seemingly the unknown and going about and tapping, and how do we tap into that? Because when it's unknown, it seems scary. Samson, when you started this journey with us, I met you about over two decades ago.
Yeah,
when you
there.
first started this, I remember, what kind of car you were driving. I remember, as a matter of fact, the first day I met you at St. Gabriel Hilton Hotel. And so I wanted to ask you, okay, that was unknown, right? So now fast forward that 2 decades later. Would you have 2 decades ago, would you have known what you have now in your lifestyle? And beyond lifestyle is the kind of work that you're able to go out and impact many lives around the world. Would you have known that, Samson? I want to pivot and play with that so that people can relate to the story, what I'm about to share.
Well, my answer would be absolutely no. Back then, I would never have predicted to where I am today. I think most people don't, because that's not how we are brought up or programmed. We're not trained to be fortune tellers. But such is life. I think the way you put it is beautiful, because Three is like an app, one of the apps we have in life, one of the things we do in life, just like a job or family, kid, whatever, right? Or hobby, charitable. It's something that we're doing, so it's like an app, right? And having.
So how did you gain clarity, Samson? Like, it was unknown. Sorry to interject. So it was unknown 20 years ago when I first met you, and now having what you have, and having the living the experience that you have lived, traveling to 40, 50 countries and meeting all kinds of people, and having the financial success that you have. So how did you go from unknown to becoming what you have here today?
Well, I would say the unknown is, how should I say it keeps going. It's actually infinite. But I think how I deal with it, or how your question is, how did it come about? How did I?
How unknown become clarity? How did it become
clarity? Right. The clarity, it starts from within. That's actually because when I was young, just like anybody, you look for that success, you look to get ahead, and look to have a good life. Now, I wasn't super ambitious, but I was just saying, hey, you know what? If I can have a good life, that's all I want. That's why I always, as a business owner. But there's no GPS to tell you where to go.
Well, now, I'm going to check for a second, Samson. There is a GPS. How we were conditioned to think what GPS is. So I'm gonna jump right back into that. Sorry, continue. I'm sorry to interject.
Well, I was just going to say, because depending on how we grew up and the people around us, those are quote unquote kind of like our GPS. But is it proven? Well, we don't know. I mean, it's, friends and families, the things we see on TV, the opinions, the things we learn, the things we learn from school. Well, is it really the GPS, or is it just data? It's just masses of data out there, right?
Right.
So that's why, when I was striving to get ahead, or just over time, when you read books about, or written by famous people who are successful, you kind of get an idea. But then when you walk the road, you still don't know yet, because that's still all information. It's not something that you apply. The only thing I had was, I would say, faith that I will have a good life. Okay. And then number two, though, how do you get there? Well, when I was young, I went with the flow. But then when you run with somebody like you, Kim, well, the flow is a little bit different kind of flow. So, but there were times to gain clarity. There were small, along the way, there were moments of clarity where, oh, this goes here, that goes there. Oh, this belongs there. Oh, this is how it is. Oh, this is really how it is. It's like finding out behind the curtain, right? Success is like the stage, and what's really composed of it is actually behind the curtain. All right. So absolutely. When you start to open the curtain, you say, oh my gosh, that's it. When you start putting it together, then from within, you recognize the road you are on, and you will be on. At least with some foresight, better than just all unknown.
So would you say that you gain clarity from first of all, the path, the unknown, you gain clarity by having the faith, the courage to take action, the courage to begin to walk the path. If wherever you are here today, that you wanted to tap into the unknown. The way I've always looked at Samson, and I think I have told you that from the very beginning, there's such a magic in the unknown. And so to me, it's magical, the unknown. Every day every day is unknown. So how do you go having clarity of manifesting that which, quote unquote, to most people is unknown? Okay. How do you go about manifesting that of which is unknown? How do you go about doing that? It's that by first having the faith and having the awareness and the courage to step by step walking towards it, like what you said, Samson. You got to peel the curtain. The curtain is what most people see as success, finance, whatever. Well, whatever that might be, right? So when you peel that curtain, then you're going to see behind the scene work. Once you see it, well, you only get to see it when you take action to go peel that. Am I? So when you begin to do that, you get moments of clarity. It's like, you're in a fog, right? And you can see, bam, you see clarity right away. But it's when the wind blows, okay? When it blows, the fog becomes to disappear. It becomes to dissipate. And when sunshine hits, different elements come, okay? Then the destination become having more and more clarity. And so that is the path. And so what I like to do, Samson, and since you started that, I'm going to do this. Samson, most people know Samson's story. When I first met Samson, he was an auctioneer. He talked so fast. He's the only Chinese I know that talk faster than me, And so here's the thing. When we talk about unknown, maybe perhaps we should question what is known. Let's question on what is known and the validity of and the truth of what is known. Let's say that wherever you are, let's say that, I don't know, you are a let's say a professional, you're an accountant, okay? Or you are a realtor, or you are a contractor, okay? Now we are seemingly walking on a known path. But do we really know what that path will lead us? It's known, perhaps, somebody's giving me a thumbs up. Okay, it is known because perhaps what we were taught or what we were conditioned to think. Maybe our ancestor, our generations, our parents, grandparents taught us about that profession, that it was good. It was something that was a path that we're supposed to take. Or perhaps it is something that from a television, they go, you know what, lawyers, accountants make a lot of money, or whatever that might be. Or you are a medical doctor. So whatever this known path is what we've been trained and conditioned. But is it really known? Is this something that really serves our purpose? And that is something that we need to, as human beings coming in this time that we're living in right now, we need to question every narrative. Say, you know what? Okay, whatever I've been taught, is it worth it? So that's why I preface by saying that things that we're going to talk about here today, you can apply it to your life. And then you can apply it to the 3 app, if you would, in this business. To me, entrepreneur empowerment, you could take, I mean, we want you to build 3, but if 3 is not for you, I hope that the information that we share, and that's part of my thing, my mission as an entrepreneur. I've been very blessed as an entrepreneur, but I want to take some of the experiences, some of the things I've learned, and some of the wisdoms I've gained over the years, the last 3 decades, and impart onto other entrepreneurs to use the things that could help them to grow their business or to grow their life, and for that matter. So the path that is known, that we are walking every day towards it, maybe it's time we got to pause. And sometimes that pause happen like what happened to Samson, that it come to you at a point in your life, so you know what, I really need to stop. Sometimes for Samson's case, it happened to his business. He lost his business. He, besides an auctioneer, he also had, how many furniture stores you had, Samson, in LA area?
3.
3. So 3. Okay. So it took Samson to lose 3 furniture stores for him to pause on his path of what's known to him. Okay. And to some other people, whatever sometimes circumstances happen in our life, or maybe there's a void in us, to go, you know what, I really need to examine my known path. For me, I graduated from college. I have a degree in accounting. I was an accountant. Okay. But it took someone to lay me off. So I was walking on my known path, right? Now this path that I'm walking on, it took someone to lay me off to go, wait a minute. Okay. Everything that I've taught, I seem to, whatever I've been taught in college, in my work life, in my family life, in my parents, whatever they taught me, I thought it was known until something happened. Then I go, okay, wait a minute. What were my childhood dreams? What were some of the things before they start programming me, or before I got programmed, I would say, before I got programmed, what were some of my dreams? What were some of the things that I thought I came to earth to do? So sometimes we need a disruptor and we need a distractor. Sometimes of these events, the event of Samson lost his business, it distracted his path. For me, when I got laid off, it distracted me dead on the track. And some people will let incidents like that, they would take that as something that would break them down. They go, oh, shoot, my whole world crashed. Now, obviously, I'm sure Samson, I don't know about you, Samson. For me in the beginning, when I lost my job, I go, holy moly, what am I going to do? So the panic, the survival thing started to happen. But it is at times like that when I got distracted and interrupted, that I go, okay, let me evaluate what is something that I really want in life, and begin to tap back some of the dreams, and then to pursue something that's unknown. But I knew that when I was a little girl, before I went to school, there were some of the things that I aspired to do and I aspired to be. And so I talked long enough in that regard. Samson, do you want to jump in here and so that I can carry on with my explanation?
Well, one thing that comes to mind, and to make it more like just like boom, it's right there for me, was during the time when after a few years I met you, we had opportunity to jump into a different opportunity. At that time, I was 40 years old, right? So for a man, 40 years is like, oh, it's like when you have that midlife crisis or you kind of start reevaluating your life. And, that was a few years after I had lost my furniture business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I consciously said to myself and thought maybe the first 40 years of my life, all that I've learned, all that I was conditioned, all that I had, all that I knew, all that I experienced, it didn't help me one bit to get to where I want to be. I
You
made
woke
that very
up. You
conscious.
woke up.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? So there was that turning point. And I think like a lot of people out there, some people are at that point and some people are just still kind of going with the flow or whatever the narrative is in the world, right? And I'm talking about people without a purpose, of course, right? So at that time, at 40, I just made a decision. You know what? Moving forward. So I'm a very logical person, right? There are any logical people out there. When we talk about the unknown, and you kind of hinted that, oh, it's also known. From my own logic, is that it's all known by somebody else, just not you. It's all there. The abundance, what that means, it's not abundance to you. It's already there. The abundance is already there. Or it's huge. Everything is there. Just need to grab it. You just need to move in that direction. So that's where, number one, I was very fortunate to have known you at that time. So I have faith in myself to go work and make money. How much success, I didn't know yet. But working with you, I had another layer of faith that no matter what, it's going to be good. Because I'm with, because for me, that's when I decided in this industry, I recognize that it's not even the company. It's, that's important. It's most important is the leadership, the people. That's the most important in this industry. With working with the right people, that's how you can learn the next level. That's how you can, have this kind of call with Kim. Half of it is a little esoteric, but at the same time, it's not philosophy. It's not knowledge. It's through experience. So it's actually wisdom that we've acquired over the years that she has acquired in her journey, and that's unique to Kim. But at the same time, if we look at who else is out there that is creating these authentic wisdoms, proverbs, as I guess we can call them in a way, or thoughts, like chunks of ideas that through experience, it is once known that can guide more people out there. This is something very rare, and hope all of you are taking notes. But anyway, going back to the unknown, that's my own thinking about it. My own logical thinking is all the unknown is known. It's just unknown to you.
Absolutely. So, and that brings us to something that it is so true. It is so true. It is unknown. Whatever that is unknown, it's unknown to us at the moment. But when you have that faith, that courage, and that tenacity to just take the leap of faith, and knowing that whatever is unknown, it's known. By that, what I mean by that, and I want to clarify that also, so it doesn't sound so esoteric, right? And so most people, I want to think about this. For most people, all of us for that matter, when we go from, let's say we walk a path that's known, right? Be it it's a path for where I was as an accountant, right? Or you as a filmmaker, or you as a path as for Samson, a business owner, owns a couple of furniture store. When you're walking that path, I want you to picture this. When you are walking that path, most people are just walking. But most people have forgotten a very important element while they are walking on the known path. And this is really how you tap into the unknown. And as you're walking on that path, most people are thinking the same old thoughts every single day. Your thoughts, your perception of what we're being conditioned to is, the brick and mortar business world, right? So that is what we've been conditioned. So as we're walking that path, we are carrying some of the thoughts that's passed on to us without having us consciously aware to evaluate and evaluating the effectiveness or the efficacy or the truth of the model that we were taught. Okay, so as we were walking unconsciously, well, we think we're conscious, but it's unconscious. Why? Because there's something so powerful that most people don't think about. And you know what? That and it's just walking on that path to the known or what we think we know, just walking. But there's something going on very powerfully that each and every single one of us can learn to manifest. And you know what that is? That is, picture this, between me and this computer screen, it seemingly is two objects, me physically talking to the screen, but there's a vast space between me and the screen. That when we learn to, there are things, now our eyes cannot see it, so we think it doesn't exist, but it exists without whether we know it or not, like what Samson had talked about. It's just not known to us. And so that being said, I want you to think about this. I mean, in LA, you know, we have different radio stations, right? Wherever you live in the country, like you have 103.5, you have 104.3. So depending on whatever frequency we tune into, you hear different music. So when I'm tuned into 104.3, it doesn't mean that 103.5 doesn't exist. It exists, but I wasn't tuned into that. So all that is the known and unknown. It's already here. So how do we go about tapping into it? So rather than unconsciously doing the things that we were taught, doing the things that we were conditioned to go, I got to say, okay, wake up. Now, some people need to be waking up. For me, in my case, being laid off. Then I go, okay, wait a minute. You know, I got a college education. I worked 10 years in corporate America, and I wasn't going anywhere financially. And so it took me to something to interrupt my thoughts to go, okay, now I need to begin to tap into the unknown. The unknown is anything outside of known, okay? So it might sound scary, but it is not. So how do we go about manifesting that our dreams, the things we got to begin to, we have to learn. We have to retrain ourselves, to retrain our thoughts, what we think about every day. You know, there's a research I read a long time ago that, you know, over 90% of the thoughts that we think every day, it's the same as yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before. And with all that train of same old thoughts, how do you go about changing your world, to go into a new space, to tapping into the unknown? The unknown is whatever it is that's known to you that's possible. I mean, I don't know, be it financially free, be it having the ability to travel the world, be it having the opportunity to spoil your loved ones. I mean, whatever that is that's known to you. If you could think it, you can manifest it. And so if you could think it, I want you to picture this. The more vivid you could think about the lifestyles that you want, when you hold that image in your head and you have the faith and you have the courage and you have just got to take the action to go, you know what? I am brave enough to do that. Because who was it that taught me to go to school, to you know, go to all these years of education, went to college, got my degree. Then I went back to UCLA, got my postgraduate studies, and then I got laid off. And it's like, wait. Who was that taught me all those thoughts? I need to change my set of thoughts. So coming back to this, is this. The thoughts, the path you're working on, most people go, oh, I'm walking towards wherever. And then the thoughts that we think about, it's the same old thing that we carry from day before, even maybe years before, right? So you carry all that. Well, how can you make any change? And we never really took time to examine the path that we are on. Is it really taking us to where we truly want to go? This is something that we all have to think about. I don't have all the answers, but I was brave enough to go, I'm going to go do it, and I'm going to go do it. You know, so when you have that, when you tap into that inner core and say, you know what? I do business. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't steal. I just be a hard worker. Give me a good, solid platform, and I'm going to work it. And so when you have that kind of, to me, that's your juice. That's your magic. That's your spirit. When you have that, you will. How you tapping into the unknown is by questioning the what's known. And so with all that, it brings back to here is everything is energy. Everything's energy. Change your thought, elevate your thought. Then you're going to change your vibration. You're able to tune into different radio station, like a happy station right here, Empowerment Tuesday. Okay. And so, in life, like energy, chi, or whatever, right? So in life, we can spend our energy. There's three major ways you can spend your energy, right? One way is you can spend your energy in just surviving, walking on that path of what's known. Or some of you say, you know what? I have a little bravery. So I'm going to go and spend my energy to make myself a little bit more comfortable. Okay. But there's a third type of energy that you could do. And that's what we are doing, is that to have that energy, to spend that energy to make positive impact to the world. We just happen to leverage the platform called 3. And so these kind of talk as entrepreneurs that we whatever that's going on in your world. Now, when I say those thoughts going to the known world, that known world could be your current path, whatever that you're doing. You own a dry cleaning business, you own a restaurant, you are a chiropractor, whatever that known path is, that's one thought, right? There's another aspect of thoughts is when you want to begin to evaluate. For example, to download this app called 3, okay? When you're ready to evaluate that, also question what kind of thoughts that's going through your head. Do you say, oh, this kind of thing? Like, oh, I don't know about this kind of thing. Oh, what thing? Okay, so the thoughts that you think of, the perception that you think of what this is, it is going to impact when you talk to your people. They can sense you. I mean, we can all feel things. I mean, most people can feel things, right? So they go, oh, he doesn't really believe it, or she doesn't really believe it. Look at the way they talk about this. When you have that kind of leaky, I call it leaky energy. When you do this business, when you have a leaky belief, ain't going to happen. Because people can smell you. People go, this person don't believe in what they're doing. And so how you get that passion is you just got to be like what Samson said, be brave enough to just peel that curtain. Be brave enough. But first, how do you become that brave enough? There's got to be a spark that would trigger you, that a spark that would activate, go, you know what? Whatever I've been taught, whatever I've been on, is it really? I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. But is it really serving your purpose? Is it really helping you making impact? Maybe you make great money. I was making great money before 3, but it wasn't serving my purpose. So I pivot. And so anyways, sorry, Samson, I took it all over. So I hope that by me kind of explaining that makes sense to you. And maybe, Samson, you can carry it home with whatever I just said.
Okay, that's great. To put it to all that is absolutely correct, because look, we go through life like I did before. Most people, they just go with the flow. If we can only grab that flow and spin it, like you said, the way you want it to, with intention. When you do that, look, you build more than just selling product only. You build more just, oh, I'm going to try for 3 months, 6 months. You're talking about 1 year, 3 year commitment. Let's do that. And let's grab it and spin it with intention in a direction you want it to go. That's where most people get lost. And talk about the leaky energy. There's so many people with leaky energy. They say they want it. Even people who put action behind it, they're still leaking energy because they haven't worked on the inside yet. They haven't worked on their own demeanor, their attitude yet. Mm-hmm. And they still only think about, okay, not to offend anybody, but when you only think about yourself, you're very limited. And when Kim talking about, having purpose, serving others, the greater good, you know what happens? Your energy actually expands. And when you focus on other people, your own fear goes away. It goes back to Kim saying, oh, Samson, you have courage. Well, it's not that, it's courage where I was able to, the opposite of courage is not lack of fear, but lack of love. But fear, it blinds us. It totally blinds us because just like that caveman focusing on a saber-toothed tiger, and they're afraid that all they focus is on trying to get rid of it, and they forget to look at the surroundings, and they might run off a cliff by accident. But when you are not in fear, when you know that, you know what, if I do this, I lock arms with people who are on the same mission, they'll put that fear away. You get to see the bigger picture, you know, and you're able to harness your potential that way. You have to get past your fear. You have to find ways to get past your fear. You know, some people like me, you know, look, I'm very logical. I focus on the process. I put down my goals. I know where I want to be. I don't know when I would get there, but I would just, you know, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, whatever. Right? When you don't know yet. But as you go about it, how I overcame it was I focused on the process just over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, you know, like when I was doing regional, it's funny. I hear, you know, different people like Adrian or Holly or Amy. There's all, oh, you know what? You just got to keep doing. So, you know what? Rinse. What is it called? Rinse and do it again.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. When it's like that kung fu master teaching you something, teaching you a way to do the kung fu, and by the time you forget how it's done, you're doing it, but you forgot how it's done. That means you already mastered it, and you already broke through.
And that reminds me, Samson, that was a great analogy and great storytelling. That reminds me of the movie. What's it called? What's it called? Kung Fu what? Wax on, wax off. Yeah, Karate Kids. You know, in the Karate Kid, there's so many different movies out there that kind of reminded us about really how we look at certain things, right? The Karate Kids, when the master, the teacher, you know, teaches him to go wash the car, wax on, wax off. And after you wax on, wax off for a little while, the kid's like, what, you using me to wash your car? Why are you waxing on, waxing off? But unbeknownst to him, that what he was doing, waxing on, waxing off, he is learning how to build his core. He's learning how to ground himself. So when he went to competition, when the real test come, he is firm on, wax off. That's what Samson talk about, rinse and repeat. And so for those of you that are in this business, now we're coming back to the 3 app, right? So when you're working this business, you got people that might not see what you saw, or you invited people, they don't show up, or you invited people to come to a Zoom, they don't even return your call, they're going to avoid your call. Well, you know what? Rinse and repeat. Wax on, wax off. Why? Because you know the path. You know what you want. And all this is part of the journey. Like what Samson talked about, the regionals, right? How you overcome the fears, and how you know, some people have this gift of like, they don't let fear get to them, right? But some people, they need to be in a surrounding or in an environment that nurtures them. And that is why that these Empowerment Tuesday, the Wellness Wednesday, you need to leverage what the community have put together so that it's no longer about you. When your prospects, when your friends plug into the event, either be online or offline, in a local event, a local meeting, a regional, when they plug into these events, slowly but surely, that ice, it becomes to defrost. You know, when we are sucked into the programming, we become frozen. When ice is frozen, there's no energy coming from it. So we need to learn how to unfrozen our dreams. And we also need to tap into, and when you begin on this path, ask yourself, do I have any leaky energy? You know, we don't want leaky guts, right? So when you're pursuing your dream, make sure that you have no leaky energy. So I hope that this talk, you know, we want to try to keep it within, 40 minutes. I hope that this talk is meaningful for you and it helps you. So make sure that you plug into this event, not only you yourself, that when you have a team, and now and then I'm coming back to the 3 app, right? So when you have a team that's doing this business, make sure that you get them to plug in. And so sometimes through rinse and repeat, that you might not see, this is the thing. And I think Samson, I want to touch, even though we'll go a little over, it's okay. Because most of the time what I see is now, you know what? I've been in this space for 30 years. The last couple of months, I have been in the trenches, like all over again. And I get to see people that as they're embarking on this journey, in the beginning, they got all pumped up, all excited because something got sparked. It disrupted their normal thoughts of what they disrupted their own path, right? Whatever that's known to them, it disrupted that. They go, okay, I see possibility. But when they start engaging, when things are not happening to their initial expectation, that's when doubt creeps in. They go, oh my goodness, am I doing this right? Oh my gosh, I'm walking away from whatever business I'm doing and I'm doing this. It's these little noises that's doubting you. Don't respond to the noises. Respond to the signal. What's your signal? What's a signal that's in your heart telling you to pursue? When you follow the signal rather than the noises, you're going to get somewhere in life. So with that, Samson, let's take it over. I want to talk about you. So on your path, it's really interesting. I mean, when I first met you, Samson, you were driving a Honda Accord. As a matter of fact, when you take me, I hope you don't mind, I'm telling it anyways. When you first took me to the airport in your trying years, every time you pick me at the airport, your gas tank is always empty. I'm like, oh my gosh, Samson, can you take, when I I don't want to miss my plane, and you refuse to take any gas money and you say, I'm going to make it. And I know in the beginning you made a little money and then your commission were negative, and so what was it that when the friends rejected you, when you literally walk away from your auctioneering, your company, you lost your 3 businesses, you then become an auctioneer, and then you become to decide full-time doing this. Now, in the beginning, it wasn't happening. So Samson, what was it that instead of letting doubt creep in, you went forward? You persistently went after it. Name something that got you going.
Name something that got me going. Well, I need to eat.
Persistent. Instead of letting doubt creep in, you didn't.
Yeah, no, but for sure, I need to eat. Need to pay my rent. Need to put the gas in the tank, right? Need to pay the insurance to get food costs. I need about $1,700 to $2,000 a month to survive at that time. So I of course, by that time, I had a little bit more clarity about life. So life, look, life is not what you make it, it's what you put your time in to. That's your life. There are a lot of people, so at that time, I had all the time in the world to put into the business, and that's all I did every day. So in the morning, I wake up at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, go running around the park, then walk over to Starbucks, get a coffee, and think about, what I'm going to do today to move my business forward. Now, if you talk about why, well, I need to survive. That's it, pure survival mode. And I think, just like, we talk about many times over the years that people are just too comfortable. Then, sometimes it has to be painful. Or if you don't do it, what's it going to cost you? Right? But not only the physical cost, but the emotional cost. If you don't do it, that's right. There's a cost. So instead of watching the Lakers game, I'm like, okay, let me make a few phone calls. Instead of feeling tired, okay, let me work on a PowerPoint. Okay, let me call some people. Let me find out who's working. Okay, every day. And that's why I figured out, what? I have long-term goal, but I also have a short-term goal. Cycle once a day, make money every day. And it's just little, it's like that. It's like, as one of my very good friends say, 1% a day, just 1% a day. That changed. The other day, I was talking with somebody that you also know, a young man, and he decided to sign up in the business maybe a month ago. And I just had lunch with him, and I just say, what? You just need to change, because all that you've done in the past has not worked. So what if you end your sentences with a period rather than just a runoff? That little change start to help him when he do the calls. Just write down, not necessarily a script, but write down what you're going to say, so you're more sure of how you're going to say it with a period at the end. And already, I got the feedback that, the calls or the talks are working differently. So it's just that 1% a day. I knew back then, just one cycle a day, make money every day. And soon it was 2 cycles a day, 5 cycles, 7
It's
cycles a
dude,
day.
there was a
I'm like
couple
a
of
4-star.
Porsches in your garage, Samson. So don't do that again.
Oh, well, three Porsches, a little much. You know,
Yeah.
so the other thing is a good friend of mine said, the more you have, the less time you have
Mm.
also. So that's why I think me and you were like decluttering. But you know, your life is what you spend time on, literally.
Mm.
So that I still joke the last time I watched a basketball game was when Shaquille O'Neal was still playing with Kobe. And this is like 20 years ago, probably. So
Mm.
that's what I spend my time on nowadays, because there's greater things out there helping other people.
Yeah.
And when you're on purpose, and maybe I can share this because as you were talking, it's like, so how do you overcome the fear? When you're
Mm.
on purpose, the purpose overcomes the fear. Your desire to achieve your purpose, to walk in your purpose, the fear takes the back seat. Because that's how I do public speaking. You know, don't worry about what you're going to say. Think about what you're doing there,
Yeah.
what you're trying to do. So that purpose overcame the fear for me. That's how I worked the business, you know, all these years, just every day, you know. And there were times when it does get to a point where you realize there's so many people who want it.
Mm.
They just need that little line, little advice, one thing that can change your life, that can move their business or just turn their business around. Just one thing. There's so many people, and it's as simple as a decision. Say, you know what, making a decision and saying, you know what, I'm going to make maximum impact with every minute that I put into the business.
That's right. That's
And
right.
then, you
Beautiful,
know, if
Samson.
you do it like that, your business will take off.
Mm.
That's what I know.
Mm. Beautiful. And I think, Samson, I just want to, kind of wrap it up by saying two things. Number one is you are absolutely right. There are so many people. We're living in a time. There are so many people that can benefit from this, that it takes someone like you, our viewers, our audience. It takes someone like you through your lens, through your words, through your energetic of who you are able to break into that community. Because we are just two people right now. We're wearing a physical outfit of a Chinese American, but it takes someone that with your life experiences, we're all physical expression of all that is, right? So through you who you are able to offer a view, a lens into looking what three is about. And so there's so many people we can help at a time like this. And the second thing I want to say is this, Samson, that I'm super proud of you. I remember when I, like 2 decades ago, when we start working together, I was hoping and praying. I said, you know what, gosh, when Samson, make a little money and then his commission check was negative because people were getting refund. I was like, oh my God, I hope this boy makes it, And so, and I'm super proud of Samson for not only has he achieved the financial success that he had, but the impact, Samson, that you were able to make around the world. And so not only when you achieve the success, you want to give back. You want to offer a piece of yourself. And so watching you, so no more 3 Porsches, but watching you, achieving just being who you are and serving the community, serving humanity. I'm very grateful to be surrounded with people like you, like Harris, like Amy, like all those incredible people, like Holly Damon, Adrienne, all these beautiful people at 3. And I'm very grateful for this platform. So with that, let's should we sign off tonight? Samson, any last words?
Well, thank you for setting the example, Kim. Folks out there, the secret is the shortcut to success is to model somebody. And Kim is a fantastic role model for all of you. And with that, all of us just put all our hearts in, and it's when many people talk about personal growth. Let me tell you, when I was on the other side of the fence, I had no idea why do I need personal growth. But life, when you open your heart, that's when you grow. When you grow, the world is limitless in what you can feel and have in you. And if you can leave that little bit behind in other people, that's your legacy. And we're here to build this legacy company together with all of you out there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And by the way, stay tuned. We're really excited. For those of you new in the space or seasoned professionals, we're going to have some exciting tools coming up to help you excel in your business. So with that, we're signing off tonight, and we look forward to hearing from you guys and seeing you in our upcoming events. And Samson and I going to Hong Kong, and we're going to go on to Indonesia as well on our incentive trip. So looking forward to seeing everyone. Take care. Good night. Good morning. Have a fabulous day. Take care.